Hello, students. Have you ever thought about where your food comes from? The rice in your biryani, the wheat in your roti, or even the cotton in your clothes? Where does it all begin? Well, it all starts with agriculture. Today, we're going to take a journey into the fascinating world of agriculture. We'll learn how farming works, the different ways crops are grown, and how farmers across the globe work hard to provide for us. So, let's dive in and explore this exciting part of our lives. First, can anyone guess what agriculture really means? Let me tell you. Agriculture is the science and art of cultivating soil, growing crops, and raising livestock. The word agriculture comes from the Latin words ager meaning soil and culture meaning cultivation. In simple terms, it's about growing the food we eat and raising animals for products like milk, wool, and leather. Now, agriculture is just one part of the economy. The economy is made up of three types of activities that are all connected. Let's take a closer look at these activities. Primary activities are all about extracting or producing natural resources. This includes activities like farming, fishing, and mining. Secondary activities involve taking those resources and turning them into something we can use, like turning wheat into flour or making bread. Finally, we have tertiary activities which support both primary and secondary activities. These include services like transport, trade, and banking. So we can see how agriculture fits into a bigger picture of economic activity. Agriculture is a primary activity and it forms the basis of many other sectors. Now, let's talk about where agriculture is most important. The land on which we grow crops is called arable land. It's land that is suitable for farming. If you look at the map here, you'll notice that agricultural activity is concentrated in places with the right climate and soil. These factors help crops grow well. So, geography plays a big role in agriculture. You know that there are different ways of farming depending on the land, climate, and technology available. Subsistence farming is when farmers grow crops just to feed their own families. Intensive subsistence farming means growing multiple crops on small plots of land using a lot of labor. Primitive subsistence farming includes things like shifting cultivation, where farmers move from one piece of land to another after it loses fertility. On the other hand, we have commercial farming, where crops and livestock are grown for sale in markets. Let's dive a little deeper into commercial farming. This type of farming is all about growing crops and raising animals for sale. There's commercial grain farming, where crops like wheat and maize are grown for the market. Mixed farming is where both crops and livestock are raised. Plantation farming involves growing a single crop, like tea, coffee, or sugarcane, on large estates, often with a lot of labor. In commercial farming, machines do a lot of the work, making it much more efficient than subsistence farming. Now, farming doesn't happen by itself. There are certain things that a farm needs to function properly. These are called inputs. There are two kinds of inputs: physical inputs like sunshine, rainfall, temperature, and soil. Human inputs like seeds, labor, machinery, and fertilizers. Once we have all these inputs, we go through farm processes like sowing, irrigating, and harvesting. All these steps help produce the crops and other products we need. Now, let's talk about the different crops grown around the world. Rice is the most important food crop in many tropical countries. It grows well in warm, wet conditions. Wheat is another major crop and it needs moderate temperatures to grow. Maize or corn is grown in many countries, including the USA, Brazil, and India. And don't forget millets, which are hardy crops that can grow in dry areas. Farming also includes crops for fiber like cotton and jute, and for beverages like tea and coffee. These crops have different needs based on the climate and soil. As populations grow, the need for food also increases. That's why we focus on agricultural development, to help farmers grow more food and use their land more efficiently. Some ways to improve agriculture include using better seeds that give higher yields, improving irrigation systems to water crops, mechanizing farms with machines to save time and labor. The goal is to improve food production and ensure food security so that everyone has enough nutritious food to eat. Farming is practiced differently in different parts of the world. For example, in India, farms are often smaller and depend on a lot of manual labor. Farmers grow crops like wheat, rice, and pulses to feed their families and sell in local markets. In the USA, farming is much more industrialized. Farms are larger and farmers use a lot of technology. They rely on machines, satellite images, and automated systems to grow crops efficiently. So, while farming in India might involve more personal involvement, in places like the USA, it's a more business like approach. So, with this, we end our video. We hope that you have understood the topic. You can now study chapter notes, watch video lectures, and solve MCQ tests of this chapter on Ejiref to ensure you score well in your school exams. And that's not all, you also get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more for class 8. Thank you.